So, how for people who have jobs, have kids, have families, relationships, mortgages, um, how can they find
Identify the source of stress and put it down for a while.
more relaxation in it?
Identify the source of stress and put it down for a while. Well, you've been running around all day, so you're stressed. Okay, well, how about not running around for an hour? Sit down, relax, lay down, stretch, be still, and you will experience more relaxation. Or you've been working for 10 hours carrying a heavy load at work. Okay, well, how about not working and not carrying a heavy load for 2 hours? And you will find you will relax. Or you're getting stressed because you're worried internally about a problem. Well, how about either address the problem like right now as quick as you can, or just put down thinking about it for a while, and if you do that, you'll find that you relax. Oh, being next to the kids screaming all day long and shouting all day long and playing next to you is causing you stress at home. Okay, well, how about tell the kids to go outside for an hour, away from you for a little bit? You'll find that you will relax. This is the Buddha's teaching of the monk in the village. Or you're in the village of stress. Can you identify that the cause of your stress is the fact that you are in a village? It's busy and noisy in a village. There's a lot of activity going on. Just get out for a bit. Go and sit in the forest for an hour. So take that principle, look into that, and take it and apply it to whatever the source of stress is in your life. Now, some things are more difficult to get away from than others. Some things are obviously more easy to get away from than others. You might be the source of stress in your life. Good luck getting away from yourself. The monk who lives in the village might internally be battling and struggling and resisting and fighting and judging and criticizing the life and the world and the people. And so when he goes to the forest, he's carrying all the people with him and he's carrying all the views with him. And so he's still stressed out in the forest. And he thinks, oh, it's not working in the forest. So he goes to the cave and he's still in his head with all the views and the crap. And the self and the right, wrong, and people are so annoying to me. There's nobody there anymore. He's in a silent cave, but he is still stressed because it's actually what's going on internally. So it depends on the person, on where you're at. But if you have that problem where you are the source of stress in your life, then you're going to have to start confronting yourself. What are you holding on to? What views have you given reality to? What views are you holding on to? Why are you causing yourself so much pain? Why are you causing yourself so much stress? How are you causing yourself so much stress? What are you holding on to? And if you can apply yourself to that problem, you will identify it eventually. You might need to talk to somebody, a good counselor, and they may be able to help point it out if you're struggling to identify it, and they'll give you homework. You'll get homework from that. And you'll have to start learning to accept things more and resist life less, as in acceptance of current events and circumstances. You may have to start letting go more often with regards to things, relinquishing control, etc., etc. And, that's a process of personal development and encouraging internal relaxation because you're the problem.
Yeah.
Your operation of your brain, how you're using your consciousness, which is just the result of conditioning. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Yeah?
Yes.
So it depends on the person, on the circumstances as to exactly what's the appropriate thing to do. But hopefully people can figure out potentially a way of addressing the problem of stress in their life from that answer. If you need more help, reach out. Let's talk. You have to go into the details with people. If they get stuck on specifics or they can't identify how what I'm saying applies to their own life for whatever reason they can't identify it, then it needs to be pulled up more accurately, more in detail, exactly where they experience stress, what circumstances cause them to deviate into stress. Are they just all round stressed? Is their whole perception of life itself a problem? are they suffering very deeply, where their whole sense of consciousness is one of tension and anxiety and worry, and they don't experience much joy? And the word relaxation feels like a foreign language to them. Then things like that need a lot of attention and care and consideration in order to start pulling apart the stress, you know?
Mm-hmm.
For example, the Buddha, we refer to the Buddha a lot because he's a very wonderful example of a man who was suffering deeply and could not accept the imposed reality, the apparent reality of life, to suffer, to die. And so he had to figure out a puzzle. He had to figure out the puzzle as to why it is this way and what to do about it. And as far as the story goes, it took him 6 years of stress. He was confused. He was stressed. He was worried. He had a problem. It didn't make sense to him, his life. And so he set off on a grand adventure of inquiry, very serious inquiry, very disciplined inquiry. And it took him 6 years. He was stressed the whole time until he wasn't. And when he wasn't, it was done. And all of his stress was relinquished. And there are many other examples, but everybody's heard of the Buddha. So do you know how to put your stress down? If you know how to put your stress down a little bit, well, whatever you're doing to put it down a little bit, try doing that more often, and you might find that it puts your stress down a lot. Can you do what you're doing a little bit all the time, even internally, mentally? When you go to lay down your body, let's look at it. Okay, your physical activity, excessive physical activity and engagement with the world in its various manifestations of work and relationship and kids and all the rest of it is stressful, right? We all get that. So what do? You stop engaging with your kids and the world when you can, and the job, and you get home from work, and what do? You lay down your body, don't you? And it rests. Oh, okay, so what about mentally? Can you lay down your mental body, your mental activity, your mental self? The me running around with all my ideas and objectives and wants and wishes, and got to remember him, I've got to remember her, the relationships, and I've got my kids in my brain. I've got to remember to get them up for school and get them dressed and how the clothes. My kids are in my head with me too. So you put them down in the physical world and your physical body relaxes. How about you put them down in the mental world and figure out whether or not the mental domain relaxes? And the funny thing about relaxation is, again, just like with the physical body, if you relax the physical body, suddenly you become aware of the internal mental domain. Just like the monk who's in the village, who's stressed in the village, who goes into the forest, who suddenly now becomes aware of the forest level of consciousness. He wasn't aware of that while he was in the village. It was too busy. There was too much activity in the forest. So now he's gone in the village. Now he's gone into the forest. And then he goes into the cave, and suddenly he's aware of a much deeper level of relaxation and stress, a much deeper level of the stress that the forest. First of all, the forest was relaxing to him because he's come out of the village. Oh, forest relaxation is so nice compared to the village. But then he goes into the cave. Oh, wow, even cave relaxation is so nice compared to the forest. The bloody forest was stressful. But I couldn't identify that because I'd only taken one step back. So you relax your body and suddenly you become, oh, well, now you've got a whole mental domain to relax. What happens when you relax the mental domain? Is there an energetic domain behind the mental activity? Behind the body and behind the mental activity? Is there a process of stressing the energy that is giving rise to the mental activity, which is giving rise to the world, the physical? But how would you know that unless you explored it? How do you relax yourself at an energetic level? We're not even talking about that. What happens when you relax at an energetic level? What's behind that? Well, I'm not going to tell you. Go figure it out. What do you want all the answers? You just want to be told what it is. You got to go in and explore this stuff and relax very deeply. So, the reason I bring that up is a little hint. Keep putting things down. You want to know relaxation, so you relax for 20 minutes a day. You're bloody busy and stressed all day long, so you go and lay your body down for 20 minutes, and you will relax, and it'll be lovely. Well, what happens when you do an hour a day? Oh, it's even better. So what happens when you do 2 hours a day? Well, that's like hard to describe how great that is. So what happens when you do 4 hours of deep relaxation practice every day? And when you wake up and you're dealing with the world, you're also approaching the world with as much relaxation as possible. So the way that you're using your brain to approach the problem of life and your relationship is one of letting things be, letting things go, not controlling. Well, now you're relaxing mentally and you're doing 4 hours of physical relaxation. What do you think that does for your practice of relinquishing stress? Can you do that all day long? Can you do 4 hours of relaxation meditation? I'm talking to people who probably have a very serious spiritual discipline lifestyle here, you know. If you're going to do 4 hours of deep relaxation meditation type stuff where you're just laying still, sitting still, being totally still, and for the rest of the day while you're approaching the world, it's one of release, hand away, not grasping at things, you know, just gently allowing things. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. Just let things be. Don't stress about it. It's okay. Let's just accept things. Let's not judge things. Let's not hate things. Let's not fight things. Let's just relinquish and allow them to be. Allow people to be what they are. Allow circumstances to be what they are, and we'll put up with it. We'll abide by it. We'll deal with it. We don't need to control things. We'll accept it. It's okay. What happens to your experience of life when you operate like that for many days and many weeks and many months and many years? What happens to the energy that's behind your immediate experience of life? How does it evolve? How does it expand? How does it increase? The intensity of the energy of life, which is no longer being obstructed by the barriers of yourself and your views and your brain and your stress. How do you evolve? How does your whole perception of experience, existence, evolve when you relax deeply? And remember, deeply means for a long time. People think deep relaxation takes place in an hour. Deep relaxation takes place over the course of 10 years. For 5 hours a day, every day for 10 years. That's deep. 24 hours a day for 10 years. What, do you really want to unlock yourself, the true nature of life? Do you want to unlock it? You want to be free to be that full experience of what life itself is, not you, not your ego, not your wants and your wishes, and not your views and your ideas, not your ideologies, not your religion, not your belief system, not your identity, but the energy of life itself, the force of all creation. You want to set that free in you, as you. You want to be free to be that whole experience of life, really? That's what you're after? Then you got to get to grips with this stuff, no matter how hard it is and no matter how long it takes. You want reality. Reality is a bloody big picture, man. So, get to work. Right?
Yeah.